What's hapa? Hi everyone. Tonight we're going to continue on with chapter 3 of Bound. And this chapter is called Adapt. I'll find out why here in a bit. The sun had just begun to rise above the horizon when a boy emerged from his adobe home and hurried toward the edge of his pueblo. His young face was shadowed with worry as he quickened his steps, struggling to resist the urge to break into a sprint. In the past, he had already been scolded several times by various aunties and grandmas about running through the streets, accusing him of kicking up dust by doing so. Today, he had no time to chat, much less for another such lecture. Determined to see if he could spot his sister returning, the boy hurried toward the sandstone area where he usually waited for her. Although he was still too young to venture out alone, he had become accustomed to waiting for her there when he didn't have chores to attend to. As he drew closer, his sharp eyes caught sight of a familiar pouch lying among the rocks. Its vibrant colors stood out against the earth tones of the desert landscape. His earlier anxiety momentarily forgotten, he sprinted toward the sandstone. When he reached the spot, he gently retrieved the pouch lying among the rocks, its contents still safely sealed. Any initial uncertainty he may have had about the identity of the pouch's owner vanished as soon as he opened it. He recognized the raspberry leaves and bare root inside as items his sister would have gathered, although he wasn't entirely familiar with them yet, as he was still learning about their uses himself. The boy's heart sank with a mix of confusion and worry. The pouch was here, but where was she? Even more unsettling was the sight of the torn woven belt that had once secured the pouch. What had caused such damage? Realizing that his sister must have left the pouch for him to find, knowing he would be waiting for her in that spot, a mild relief washed over him. He wondered why she had left the pouch at the edge of the village, but had not returned the day before. Closing the pouch, he looked off into the distance, hoping to see her silhouette. As he stood there, memories of her laughter and the times they spent together flooded his mind. The siblings had always shared a special bond, and the thought of her being missing or in danger left a hollow ache in the pit of his stomach. Clenching his small fist, vowing to do everything in his power to find her and bring her, or what was left of her, home. Unwilling to waste another moment, the boy dashed toward his older brother's house, determination driving his every step. As he ran, he couldn't shake the gnawing feeling that something was terribly wrong, and he prayed that they would find their sister unharmed. Rushing to his brother's house as fast as he could, the boy's worry grew with each hurried step. Upon arriving at the home of his older brother, he burst through the door without announcing his arrival first or asking for permission to enter. Apologizing for the disrespectful way in which he had entered the home, he handed the pouch with the torn belt to his older brother. Breathlessly, he explained that their sister still had not returned all night, so he had gone to wait for her at the edge of the pueblo when he found her pouch. The brothers exchanged concerned glances, their minds racing with the implications of her torn belt and extended absence. In that moment, a heavy silence settled over the room as the gravity of the situation became clear to everyone present. The older brother's wife, who had unintentionally overheard the younger brother's distress from another part of the house, joined them. They all knew their loved one was resourceful and independent, but the thought of her missing and alone in the wilderness sent a shiver down their spines. United in their concern, they were determined to search for her and bring her back to the safety of their village, no matter what it took. As the resolve to search for her settled in, the elder brother's wife, unable to contain the feelings of fear and anxiety any longer, felt her eyes well up with tears at the thought of losing her best friend and sister-in-law. Seeing her distress, her husband embraced her within his strong arms, softly kissing the top of her head as he gently wiped her tears away with the side of his hand. He held his pregnant wife close, gently swaying from side to side as he consoled her, struggling to contain the storm of emotions swirling within himself. They both knew they needed to be strong, for each other, for their baby, for their families, and for her. Feeling the urgency of the situation, he turned to his younger brother, his voice steady despite the turmoil in his heart. He instructed the boy to return to their family's home and gather everything needed for a hunting expedition. Without delay, the boy agreed, though the prospect of hunting stirred a deep sense of unease within him. The younger brother remembered how he had not taken pleasure in his first hunt, and he had avoided participating in any others ever since. He understood the necessity and the sacred exchange involved in hunting, but he could not deny the overwhelming guilt he felt when he had crept into a large brush and made his first kills on the frightened rabbit family that scrambled out of it. Despite his aversion to hunting, he knew that he must set aside his feelings and join the search for his cherished sister, and he was more than willing to do whatever it required to find her. His resolve steeled, the boy quickened his pace to their family home. Upon returning to their family home, he immediately began gathering his hunting equipment, pushing aside the haunting memories of his first hunt, and focusing instead on the love and concern he felt for his sister. He knew it was crucial to find her, and resolved to draw strength from the spirits to guide and protect him during this vital mission. Their grandmother, the only one at home at that time, silently observed him packing up his hunting gear. Knowing her gentle-hearted grandson was not one to relish killing, she momentarily wondered if he intended to rid himself of his bow, bow guard, obsidian-tipped arrows, and obsidian blades. Feeling her eyes upon him, the boy did his best to explain the situation to her calmly, without showing emotion. His voice betrayed him, rising into peaks and squeaks of erratic emphasis on various words as he spoke. Frustrated by his inability to control his voice, he continued to relay the events of the morning to their grandmother in tears, his voice finally cracking, reaching a high pitch he desperately tried to lower without success. Meanwhile, their mother returned from a neighbor's house, where she had been helping to apply a fresh coat of mud plaster. Unsure of what sort of conversation she had walked into, she remained silent, walking toward a ceramic wash bowl to wash her hands. As she washed her hands, she froze momentarily, the color draining from her face as she listened to her son's distress. Suddenly coming back to the present moment, their mother quickly dried her hands on a clean apron, exited the home, and ran as fast as she could to the men's kiva, where both her husband and her father were. Knowing she was not permitted to enter, she called out to them with all her might, hoping her urgent plea would be heard over any discussions the men might be having. Despite the uncertainty, she was determined to make her voice known. After a few tense moments, both her husband and her father emerged from the kiva, stepping off of the ladder that led down into it. As they listened to her urgent words about their beloved one's disappearance, their faces reflected the gravity of the situation as they prepared to face the challenges a search for her would entail. The mother returned to the family home with the father, while her husband descended back down into the kiva to ask his clan brothers to help with the search for his daughter. Without hesitation, everyone in the kiva agreed to help search, for his daughter's authentic kindness had graced each of their hearts at various times of her life. The men emerged from the kiva one by one, their faces reflecting a resolute determination. They understood the urgency of the situation and the need to come together to bring the young woman home. As the mother walked into her home, her eyes brimmed with unshed tears, a testament to the love and worry that consumed her. However, she knew that now was not the time to be consumed by sorrow. Her determination to find her daughter pushed her to draw upon an inner strength she didn't know she possessed. With resolve, she focused on the tasks at hand, gathering blankets, water, and provisions for the search party that would be formed to find her daughter. She moved about their home, her hands trembling slightly as she packed the necessary supplies. As she worked, her thoughts drifted to the cherished moments she had shared with her only daughter, the fun of watching her grow, the joy found in teaching her various skills, and the pride that swelled in her heart. As her daughter blossomed into a strong, compassionate young woman, with every fiber of her being, the mother vowed to do all in her power to help find her daughter, no matter the obstacles might be faced. The younger brother, still burdened by the guilt of his hesitancy towards hunting, knew that his sister's life could very well depend on his ability to track her through the wilderness. He swallowed his discomfort and embraced the challenge, determined to prove himself, doing his best to ignore the tight knot of anxiety twisting in his stomach with the fear that she might not be alive. As he and his mother prepared for the search, the boy thought about the countless memories he shared with his sister, the laughter, the adventures, the lessons she had taught him, and the bond they had forged over the years. The thought of losing her was unbearable, and the urgency of the situation only fueled his determination to rise to the challenge. In the midst of gathering his gear, he took a deep breath to steady himself. His heart began to swell with courage, inspired by the resilience and resourcefulness he had seen in his sister throughout their lives together. He vowed to honor her by channeling those same qualities through his actions as he joined the search party, driven by a fierce desire to reunite his family. As he checked and double-checked his hunting equipment, he whispered a silent prayer to the spirits for guidance and protection on the journey, and followed it with appreciation for the success that was undoubtedly on its way to them. With his love for his sister emboldening him, the boy resolved to do what was necessary to find her, even if it meant that he may have to claim another life, or lives. Meanwhile, the grandmother, a wise and seasoned woman, sought solace in their faith and traditions. Unable to visit the shrine she usually went to for her most profound requests, she instead prepared a small shrine in their home, hoping her prayers would be heard there. Offering prayers, food, sacred stones, and white cornmeal to the spirits, she implored them to watch over her granddaughter and guide her family in their search. She concluded her prayers with gratitude, believing that their prayers had already been heard and answered. As the warm glow from the hearth illuminated her gentle features, the grandmother felt a calm knowing that her granddaughter would be found. Her eyes, filled with the wisdom of a long and rich life, reflected a certainty, even amidst the storm of worry and fear that had settled upon the family. She knew that the power of their faith would carry them through this ordeal, and she drew upon that knowledge to steady her own heart. The father, usually a stoic figure of unwavering strength and resolve, found himself grappling with a deep surge of emotion. His usually steady breath trembled slightly. Deep within, he grappled with a growing fear of the worst, but he refused to surrender to despair. Instead, he channeled his energy into focused action, ensuring he was well prepared for the search ahead. He methodically gathered his hunting gear, carefully inspecting each item to ensure it was in top condition and ready for the challenges ahead. As he made his preparations, his wife carefully packed a bundle of sustenance and essentials for the journey. She filled it with white cornmeal, dried meat, parched corn, tamales, and blue cornbread, ensuring that he would have enough provisions to sustain his strength during the search. Along with these, she readied his spare arrowheads, obsidian daggers, and his sharpest stone axe, knowing these tools could prove invaluable in the wild. The grandfather, a man of wisdom and quiet strength, found himself overcome with worry for his cherished granddaughter. The depth of his concern was etched into the furrow lines of his brow as he contemplated the dangers she might encounter in the wild. Throughout her life, he had guided and nurtured her, passing on the knowledge and traditions of their people. Now, as he faced the uncertainty of her fate, he couldn't help but feel a gnawing sense of dread. Like his wife, the grandfather turned to the ancient rituals that had always brought him solace and guidance, offering prayers and appreciation to the spirits. He joined his wife at the shrine she had lovingly created, adding his own heartfelt entreaties to her offerings. Together, the elderly couple beseeched the spirits to watch over their granddaughter and thanked them for helping her be found. As they prayed, the grandfather drew upon the collective wisdom of their ancestors, hoping to receive insights that might help them in their search. In the midst of their quiet supplications, a sense of calm washed over the grandfather, as if the spirits were whispering reassurances in his ear. Though the future remained uncertain, he felt a renewed sense of hope and determination, knowing that their prayers were being heard and their devotion acknowledged. While the family readied themselves to venture forth into the unknown, the grandfather stood tall, his unwavering strength and wisdom shining like a beacon for his family. He knew that whatever challenges lay ahead, they would face them together, bound by love and the strength of their unyielding determination to find their loved one. With a quiet determination, as each member of the family contributed to their preparations in their own way, a sense of unity and determination filled the air. They knew that they had to work together to face the challenges ahead, and they were ready to do whatever it took to find the young woman. Just before the search party set out, the grandmother placed ashes on each member as a gesture of blessed protection. With her voice strong and steady despite her age, she called upon the spirits to watch over them and guide their steps. The grandmother knew that, even though she could not physically join them in their search, her love and her prayers would accompany them on their journey. This unseen but powerful source of support and protection would be a guiding force as they faced the challenges ahead. In the plaza, a village search party gathered with a sense of unity and collective purpose, bringing the pueblo together. Neighbors who had once been friendly acquaintances now stood shoulder to shoulder, bound by their shared esteem for the young herb gatherer and the drive to find her. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting shifting shadows across the landscape, the group set out with hearts full of resolve and determination, ready to confront whatever challenges lay ahead in their search for the young woman. With determination etched on their faces, they began their search, calling out her name and scouring the surrounding area for any sign of her. Despite their efforts, the vast expanse of wilderness seemed to test their resolve and make their task feel impossible. As the day ended with no sign of her, their grief deepened. The once bright flame of hope dimmed perilously. Each sunset brought a new surge of despair, and the nights were filled with restless dreams and silent prayers for her. One by one, people began to stop accompanying the search parties led by her older brother. Even so, her brothers refused to give up. They pressed on, drawing strength from the memories of her laughter and the warmth of her embrace. Each new dawn renewed their determination as they combed through every corner of the landscape in their relentless search. With every call of her name in their search, the love they shared for their sister echoed throughout the land, creating an unbreakable bond that tied them to her, no matter the distance that separated them. They held on to the belief that she was out there, fighting to survive, and this conviction only intensified their resolve. Despite the harshness of their journey and the constant shadow of doubt, they remained resolute in their mission, united by their unwavering belief that they would find her, even if bringing her home safely remained uncertain. As their search continued, they clung to the hope that the spirits were watching over her and had kept her safe, even if she had not yet returned. Meanwhile, their sister faced a myriad of challenges as she learned to adapt to her new form. The sensations of her powerful body were both exhilarating and disconcerting. She marveled at the strength of her muscles, the keenness of her senses, and the swiftness of her movements. Yet, every leap and bound, every scent caught on the wind, was a bittersweet reminder of the life she had left behind. I'm going to stop right here. That's on page 43. And I'll read the second half of chapter 3, Adapt Tomorrow. So this first half was focused on her family. The second half will focus on her. I hope that you all enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you all tomorrow. Thank you for listening to my story, even if you're not able to catch it on the live. It actually really means a lot to me. I see the numbers going up, and it makes me happy because I know that you all are listening, otherwise these numbers wouldn't be going up. So, thank you very much with all my heart. Let it rain good things for all of us. We'll see you tomorrow.